Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video, we are going to break down the APPSC Degree Lecturer Computer Science and Applications previous paper of the year 2020 paper 2. There are 150 questions in this question paper. We have already covered the first answer questions in part 1 and the remaining answer questions in this part 2. I will explain concepts in simple terms and provide tips and tricks to help you exam. So whether you are a beginner or an experienced one, this video is for you. So let's start the video. So 76th question. What is a manufacturer knows the condenser schemes contain on an average 1% of defectives. He packs them in boxes of 100. What is the probability that a box picked out at random will contain 4 or more faulty condensers? So here the defect rate is 1%. The defect rate is 1%. So defect rate equals to 1%, that is 0.01. And number of condensers in a box is equal to 100. So this follows a binomial distribution D of n comma p where n equals to 100 and p equals to 0.01. So we need probability of x greater than or equals to 4 because the box picked out at random will contain 4 or more faulty condensers. So here the probability is P of x greater than or equals to 4, where x is the number of defective condensers. So using the Poisson approximation, so we get lambda equals to np equals to 100 into 0.01, that is 1. So lambda equals to 1. So we can also write the p of x greater than or equals to 4 as 1 minus p of x less than or equals to 3. So if you find out the p of probability of x less than or equals to 3 using the Poisson probability mass function, so we get the value as so p of x greater than or equals to 4, that equals to 1 minus 0.981. So this is the value that we get by applying the probability mass function, that is e power minus lambda power k by k factorial. So that equals to 0.019. So this is the answer. Option 1 is the answer. Next, who coined the term artificial intelligence? So it is termed by John McCarthy in 1956 at the Dartmouth Conference. The next question, who invented the Lisp programming language for AI? That is John McCarthy. Lisp was invented by John McCarthy in 1958. It is one of the oldest programming languages used mainly in AI. Which of the following is an extension of the propositional logic, that is the predicate logic? Predicate logic extends propositional logic by allowing quantifiers like for all and there exist and variables. Let p of x be a statement x plus 2 greater than x. What is the truth value of the statement for all x p of x? So here x plus 2 greater than x. Suppose the given predicate is p of x equals to x plus 2 greater than x. This is always true for all real numbers because adding 2 to x always makes it larger. Since the statement for all x p of x means for all x p of x is true and p of x is true for all of x. Suppose let us consider the x value as 3. So 3 plus 2 greater than 3. So 5 is greater than 3. So it is correct. So if you take any integer or any real number, then this statement is true. 81 question. Let p of x be a statement x greater than 5. What is the truth value of the statement there exists p of x? The statement there exists p of x means there exists some x such that x greater than 5. Since there are infinitely many numbers greater than 5, for example 6, 10 and and 100,000. So there are many numbers, right? So that's why this statement is also true. So the next question. Which of the following consists of the successive representations of different levels of a plan? So that is the hierarchical planning. In AI, the problem solving using judgmental or common sense part is generally known as the heuristic approach. So next question. Which of the given options best describes the truthfulness of the following statements? Turing test is used to determine whether a computer could or could not demonstrate AI. Fourth generation of computers is associated with the AI. So here option 1 is true and 2 is false, because fifth generation of computers is called as is connected to the AI, not fourth generation of computers. And Turing test, we use the Turing test to know that whether a computer is properly working or not. Next, the art and science of concealing messages to introduce secrecy in information security is recognized as. It is recognized as a cryptography. So this is the field that deals with securing information by converting it into a format that unauthorized parties cannot understand. The encryption process, where same keys are used for encrypting and decrypting the information, is known as symmetric key encryption. So in symmetric key encryption, we use the same key for both encryption and decryption. Whereas in asymmetric key encryption, like RSA algorithm, we use both public and private key pairs. Which of the following is not an example of the symmetric key encryption? That is the RSA algorithm. So it is an asymmetric key algorithm, a process whereby a message is encoded in a format that cannot be read or understood by an eavesdropper is called as. So it is called as a encryption. Encryption transforms readable data into unreadable form. Next one. In which of the following cases does the attacker try to determine the key by attempting all possible keys? So it is called as a brute force attack. So brute force attack involves systematically trying all possible keys until the correct one is found. Next. So next one is, what is the total number of required keys if n individuals need to communicate using public key cryptography? So it is a 2n. In public key cryptography, each individual needs a public key and a private key. Therefore, for n individuals, there are n pairs of keys, which means the total required keys are 2n. Which of the following options correctly enumerates the two subcategories of the standard network layer firewall? So there are actually two types of firewalls, stateful and stateless firewall. Stateful firewalls keep track of active connections and decide whether to allow or block traffic based on the connection state. Whereas the stateless firewalls filter the packets based on static rules without keeping track of connections. So option 2 is the correct answer. Which of the following types of firewall works in the network layer of the OSI model? That is the packet filters. Packet filtering firewalls operate at the network layer and inspect packets based on headers. In which of the following attacks the errors are induced in the crypto system and the attacker studies the resulting output for useful information? That is the fault analysis attack. So it is a type of side-channel attack where the attacker intentionally introduces errors and analyzes the faulty outputs to extract the sensitive information. Which of the given options best describe the truthfulness of the following statements? So here, crypto system is also referred to as cipher system, and cryptography is the art and science of breaking the ciphertext. So here the option 1 is true and the 2 is false. Which of the following statements are true? SSL or TLS uses both symmetric and asymmetric encryption, and the PKCS is an asymmetric algorithm, encryption algorithm. So here both 1 and 2 are correct. In an RSA system, given two prime numbers p equal to 13 and q equal to 17, to generate this public and private keys, if the public key of the person is 35, then what is the private key? So here given the values p equal to 13 and q equal to 17, and public key of the person is 35. So first of all, we have we have to solve this problem by using the RSA crypto system. It is a widely used public key crypto system. It relies on the mathematical difficulty of factoring the product of two large prime numbers. Choose two distinct prime numbers p and q here. So which is given as 13 and 17. Next we need to calculate the n here. So n equals to p into q. So p into q is equals to 13 into 17, that is equals to 221. And we have to calculate the Euler's torsion function. So Euler's torsion function means pi of n equals to p minus 1 into q minus 1. So p minus 1 is 12 and q minus 1 is 16. That is equals to 192. Next step. So choose a public key here. So public key is given as 35. Right. Calculate the private key. That is, we have to calculate the b. Right. So here we have to find out the b here. So the formula for RSA crypto system is E into D equals to 1 mod pi of n. So this is the formula. So E is known here, 35 into D equals to 1 mod 192. So here if you place 11 in the place of D, so then we will get the answer. Substitute all the values here. So if you put the 11 in the place of D, then we will get the correct answer here. So option 2 is the correct answer. So next, which of the following is incorrect statement? So in public key cryptography, sender encrypts the message using the receiver's private key. So this is the incorrect option. Public key cryptography requires two keys for user, that is public and private key. The sender encrypts the message using the receiver's public key, not the private key. So next one. A finite automata is a pi tuple q comma sigma q naught a and transition function delta. So where delta is it? So delta is a transition function. So option 1 is the correct answer. Next. Dash grammar is also known as context-free grammar. So to remember, to know this one, we have to know about the diagram here, right? So type 3 is a regular language and type 1 is a context-free grammar. So option 3 is the correct answer. The diagram here, we will draw a diagram of how the hierarchy will be. Okay. So first we will mix type 0. So type 0, type 1, type 2 and then type 3. Okay. So this is type 0, type 1, type 2 and the inner one, last circle is type 3. So this is the last one is type 3. Okay. So here the type 0 is allowing the Turing machine, and type 1 allows the linear bounded automata format, machine format, and type 2 allows the context-free language, that is the question automata, and type 3 allows the regular language, that is finite automata. So here type 2 is the correct answer. So it accepts the context-free grammar. Next, which of the following categories of grammar is the most restricted form of the grammar? So the most restricted form of the grammar is the type 3 grammar. Next, usually the grammatical phases of the source program are represented by a tree structure. What is the name of such tree structure usually by the compiler? So that is called as a parse tree. Which of the following statements is incorrect? So type 0 and type 1 grammar are exactly the same. So in the diagram we have seen, right? So type 1 is a part of the type 0, but they are not exactly same. So that's why option 4 is the wrong answer. In dash grammar, the left hand side of a production must have only one variable. So that is in the type 2 grammar. So it must be in the format of a non-terminal tends to alpha. So here alpha is a combination of the both the terminal and it may be terminal or non-terminal. So here the left hand side is a single value. So it is a single variable with the alpha. So alpha stands for it may be a terminal or non-terminal approach. Next slide. Which of the given options best describes the truthfulness of the following statements? The class of grammar that can be parsed by LR parser is a superset of those parsed by predictive parsers, which is the correct option. And statement 2, that is LR parsers work using non-backtracking shift register statements, which is also true. LR parsers, that is the left to right rightmost derivation, handle a broader class of grammars than predictive parsers, which use LL, that is left to right leftmost derivation. LR parsing is efficient as it doesn't require any backtracking. Which of the following is not a measure to ensure security? That is the compression. Compression is not a security measure, whereas the encryption, digital signature, and security certificate are security measures. Compression reduces the data size but doesn't provide any security. Next, with respect to security, SSL stands for. So it stands for Secure Socket Layer. SSL encrypts internet communication, ensuring security between the client and server. So which of the following extends the HTTP internet protocol with public key encryption, authentication, and digital signature over the internet? That is SHTTP. So it is not SHTTP, it is HTTPS. So in browser we can observe that HTTPS www.google.com like this. So that means hypertext transfer protocol secure enhances the HTTP with the encryption, that is with the TLS or SSL. Next, which of the following is not an essential requirement for safe e-payments or transactions? So that is the Wi-Fi. Security in e-payments depends on encryption, authentication, and integrity, but not the Wi-Fi availability. Which of the following is the communication protocol standard for securing credit card transactions over the internet? That is the secure electronic transactions. SEC is a security protocol designed to protect the online credit card transactions. It ensures confidentiality, integrity, and authentication of the transactions. In Dash model, a business website is placed where all the transactions take place directly between a business organization and the consumer. That is the business to consumer. B2C. So B2C is B2C means a company sells directly to consumers. For example, Amazon selling products to the customers. Which of the following is an electronic way of transferring business documents in an organization internally or externally? So it is the EDI, electronic data transfer. EDI allows business to exchange documents digitally instead of using paper. So it is commonly used for purchase orders, invoices, and shipping details. Which of the following statements are true? Cardholder's digital wallet software is a component of secure electronic transaction protocol. When you purchase an item through Amazon website, it is called as business to business model. So here statement 1 is true and 2 is false. Amazon sells to consumers, which is a business to consumer, not a business to business model. So that's why statement 2 is false. Which of the following statements are incorrect? The business-to-business e-commerce model identifies both the seller as well as the buyer as business entities. Payment gateway server software is a component of secure electronic transaction protocol, SET protocol. So here both the statement 1 and 2 are true. Next. The dash element is the root element of the HTML page. So here every HTML document starts with the HTML element which contains all other elements like head and body. So option 1 is the correct answer. XML documents form a dash structure. So it forms a tree structure. XML is structured hierarchically, meaning it follows a tree-like format where each element has a parent-child relationship. Next. XML documents must contain one dash element that is the parent of all other elements. So that is called as a root element. Root element is the topmost element in XML document and it contains all other elements. Which of the following statements are incorrect? HTML tags are not predefined like XML tags are. So this is the incorrect statement. HTML tags are not predefined, so we define by ourselves, and HTML tags are predefined. So option 4 is incorrect. HTML links are defined with the dash tag and the link's destination is specified in the dash attribute. So here the anchor tag is used here. So anchor tag is used to create the hyperlinks in HTML. Which of the following is not a valid attribute of the image tag in HTML? The anchor tag is used for hyperlinks and the href attribute defines the destination URL. HTML elements with no content are called dash elements and they do not have dash tag. They are called as empty elements. Empty elements. The empty elements are self-closing, meaning they don't have any closing tags. For example, break tag, input tag, and image source tag. So these type of tags don't have any closing tag. So they are self-closing tags. Which of the following statements are incorrect? So here the incorrect XML statement is option 3. XML is case sensitive. XML is case sensitive, so the capital words and the small words are different. So the tag and tag are different here in the XML language. So they are case sensitive and other statements are true here. So option 3 is the correct answer. Which of the following statement is true? The line link XML version equals to 1.4, 1.0 encoding PDFA in an XML document is called XML prologue. The XML prologue is mandatory for an XML document. So here only option 1 is correct answer. So that is the XML version equals to 1.0. Which are the given options best describes the truthfulness of the following statement? XML tags are case sensitive. HTML tags are case sensitive. So here XML is case sensitive and HTML is not case sensitive. That means the capital words and the small words are the same here in the HTML, whereas the capital and small are different in the XML. Which of the following is not a predefined entity in the XML? And quote. So and quote is not a standard entity in the XML, whereas the and LT. So and LT means so less than, and greater than, and GT means greater than, and amp is ampersand, and and apos means apostrophe, and quotation means quotation mark, but and decode means it is not a standard entity in the XML. So that's why option 4 is the correct answer. With respect to data warehouse, the term OLAP stands for. It stands for online analytical processing. Next, we can apply dash OLAP operation on sales data summarized by quarter to see the data summarized by month. So we can use the drill down operation. The drill down moves from summary data to detailed data, whereas pivot rotates the data for a different perspective. A roll up moves from detailed data to summary data, and slice cuts data along one dimension. For suppose if we are analyzing sales data, then drill down lets you go from yearly sales to monthly sales to daily sales. So like that we can drill down the data here. Next, which of the following is not a major feature of a data warehouse? So it is a distributed. Data warehouse has here 4 features, that is subject oriented, time variant, and non-volatile, but not distributed. In multidimensional data model, the cuboid that holds the lowest level of summarization is called dash cuboid. So it is called as a base cuboid. Base cuboid contains raw data before summarization, whereas apex is the highest level of summarization. In star schema data model, the data warehouse contains a large central table which is called dash table. So it is called as a fact table. A fact table contains quantitative data, that is, for example, sales and revenue details, whereas the dimension tables provide descriptive data. So, for example, product names and dates. Which of the following is not a valid data model for data house? That is the ER model, ER schema. So, ER models are used for OLTP, that is the online transaction processing, but not for data warehousing. Which of the following is not a valid measure of a data dispersion? Data dispersion refers to how spread out values are in a data set. So common measures include standard deviation, variance, and range, but not median. So median is a measure of central tendency but not dispersion. Next, which of the following is the correct empirical relation for unimodal frequency curves that are moderately skewed? So here the formula we have already tried here is option 4, mean minus mode equals to 3 into mean minus median. Next, for a given association rule A to B, where A and B are a set of items, which of the following correctly defines its confidence? So here confidence A to B is equal to support count of A in B by support count of A. So option 1 is the correct answer. So what is only confidence here? Confidence means how often B appears when A is present. Okay. Clustering, which of the given options describes the truthfulness of the statements? Clustering is a supervised technique, and clustering partitions the objects into groups so that objects within a group are similar to one another and dissimilar to objects in other groups. So here option 2 is true and 1 is false. Clustering is unsupervised, meaning there are no predefined tables, so predefined labels. And statement 2 is true because clustering groups similar objects together. Chi-merge discretization is a dash method which employs the dash approach. Chi-merge is a supervised method because it uses class labels. It follows a bottom-up approach, meaning it starts with many small intervals and merges them gradually. So here the supervised means it uses the class labels, and bottom-up means it starts with many bins and merges them. Which of the following is an optional field in UDP? So that is the checksum. So UDP is a lightweight transport layer protocol. It has four main fields, that is a source port, destination port, length, and checksum. So here mainly it has four options, that is a source, destination, length, and checksum. So here the source is of 16 bits, destination of 16 bits, length of 16 bits, and the checksum of 16 bits. So here the checksum is the optional one in IPv4 but mandatory in IPv6. It is used for error detection. Which layer handles the encryption, compression, and translation of data in the OSI model? That is the presentation layer. So presentation layer is responsible for encryption, compression, and translation. So we know that many questions were asked on the OSI model layer functionalities, their protocols, and the devices used in each layer. So just go through about it. What is the port number for SMTP protocol? A simple mail transfer protocol is used for sending emails. So here the port 25, that is the default SMTP port for sending emails. If there are two routers between a source and destination, then how many times will a packet visit the transport, network, and physical layer? So it is a 2, 4, 6. The transport layer is visited two times, that is at the source once and destination once, and network layer is visited at a source, router 1, router 2, and destination. So here totally 4 times. And physical layer visited at a source, router 1, router 2, and destination. So here each hop involves sending and receiving. So here 6 times. So that is the transport layer 2 times, network layer 4 times, and physical layer 6 times. So here the option 1 is the correct answer. Which of the given options best describes the truthfulness of the following statements? So that is the option 4. What is the minimum and maximum length of the IPv header? So here minimum and maximum of IPv header is 20 and 60 bytes. The minimum length is 20 bytes, there is no options, and the maximum length is 60 bytes with options. If the frame size is 10 KB and round trip time between sender and receiver is 15 milliseconds, the channel capacity is 10 Mbps. Then find the transmission time, propagation time, and utilization of the channel in stop and wait protocol. So here transmission. So first of all, we need to find out the transmission time. This is the TT. So transmission time is equal to frame size by channel capacity. So frame size by channel capacity. So what is the frame size here? So 10. So frame size is 10 KB. So 10 KB by 10 Mbps. So 10 Mbps. So that is equals to 1 millisecond. Next, propagation time. So propagation is half the round trip time. So we have given the round trip time here. Okay. So propagation time equals to round trip by 2. That is 15 milliseconds by 2. That equals to 7.5 milliseconds. And the utilization time. So utilization of the channel. So utilization equals to transmission time by transmission time plus round trip time. So here transmission time is 1 millisecond by 1 plus round trip time is 15 milliseconds. That is 1 by 15 milliseconds. So 1 by 16, that equals to 1 by 16, which is equals to 0.625%. 0.065, that is 6.25%. So here option 2 is the correct answer. In Cohen-Sutherland algorithm, a region is enclosed using dash bits. The Cohen-Sutherland algorithm is a line clipping algorithm. It divides the 2D space around a rectangular clipping window into 9 regions. So each region is assigned a 4-bit code. Next, which of the following process converts an image in vector graphics format into a raster image? That is option 1, rasterization. Rasterization is a process of converting vector graphics into raster images. Suppose the x1, y1, x2, y2 are the vertices of a closed polygon and x, y is a point such that x is greater than maximum of x1, x2 to n. Then the point x, y lies where in relation to the polygon. So therefore the point must be outside the polygon because the x value is further to the right than any point that make up the shape. Therefore it cannot be inside or on the line of the shape. In Cohen-Sutherland algorithm, if two codes of 2 points P and Q are given as 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, then the line segment joining the points P and Q will be dashed clipping window. So it is a totally inside. So which of the following statements are incorrect? So Bezier curve has the same endpoints as the guiding polyline. Bezier curve are not suited for interactive design, and the Bezier Bernstein approximation has 6 basic properties. So 2 and 3 are correct. Bezier curves are parametric curves defined by control points. The first and last control points are the endpoints of the curve. So here option 1 is incorrect and option 2 and 3 are incorrect. Next, last one. So viewing coordinate system and so which of the following are true? Viewing coordinate system simulates the effect of moving camera. The process of converting an object coordinate in world coordinate system to normalized device coordinate is called viewport to window mapping. So only option 1 is correct. Why? Because the viewing coordinate system is used to simulate the camera movement. And option 2 is incorrect because the process described is more accurately called window to viewport mapping or normalization transformation. Viewport to window mapping would be the reverse process, which is not what's happening when going from old coordinates to NDC. So option 1 is the correct answer. So this is about the last 75 questions in the APPSC DL 2020 Computer Science and Application paper. So I hope you find this video helpful. Thanks for watching the video.